Good morning. Welcome to Pull Day, day 2 of week 7 in our 20-week cut. Being Pull Day, we will get on our regular shoes, not our weightlifting shoes with the lifted heel. We just have some old Reebok Nanos, nothing special. They do have a slightly raised heel, nothing crazy, but I like their wide toe box of these older models. Eventually I will need to buy new shoes. These ones are starting to come apart on the inside, but until then, we'll keep it going. If you're new to the channel, new to this playlist, we're filming the workouts of this 20-week cut that we started mid-October. So the idea is that I hopefully can lose 40 pounds in 20 weeks. Do the math, that's 2 pounds a week. That's on the aggressive side of what is recommended for cutting. So the reason I picked these targets was because, well, number one, it was time to cut. Just I could tell that I was at a higher body fat percentage. It'd been a while since I've done it. Jeans were getting started to feel tighter. And then the reason that I picked the 170 target was because I did that a couple years ago and really liked the way that body weight looked and felt. I wanted to try and do this aggressively all at once. I could have chosen to break it up into 2 10-week sessions or any kind of split, right? Do 4 weeks at a time, do 6 weeks at a time, 8 weeks at a time, whatever. But I wanted to try and get it all done because one thing that helps motivate me is having a clear target, a clear goal, a clear deadline. And I knew I had a work trip beginning of March that is in Florida, and then my family will do some Florida activities and stuff after that. So I thought, all right, that's a good goal. Let's shoot for that. That's will help add to the motivation cocktail. That's how we landed on 20 weeks because I found out all about that in October. And the 40 pounds was how much do I weigh? How much can I lose realistically? And so 40 pounds, 20 weeks. And then, had I needed to lose more weight, obviously I wouldn't have been able to do it. I'm playing with the active track on this camera again. I realize that as I'm putting weights on and stuff like that, it's maybe helpful to have it follow me around. And then I'll try and see if I can turn it off for the actual lift itself, because that seems to cause problems. So the goal is 40 pounds in 20 weeks. So far, we have lost 12 pounds in 6 weeks, so we're on target. And I mentioned yesterday, I am starting to feel just a little bit of the wear and tear of the cut. I think on this 7th week, I don't know if it's all in my head or if I'm actually feeling that. It's just the mornings are feeling. It could even just be coming off of a holiday weekend, Thanksgiving last week, where I was able to sleep in a little bit more. So it literally could just be the mornings are feeling harder. But either way, it is feeling harder to feel motivated in the morning and to feel energetic to come into the workout. So having a home gym helps. I don't even have to get in the car. I just have to come downstairs, turn the camera on, start talking, and then once we start lifting, things start to feel better. But coffee helps too. I know I talk about my coffee all the time. A little bit of almond milk, some creatine, some protein powder, best thing in the world. So for pull day, we have deadlifts, we have lat pull downs, we have single arm dumbbell rows bent over on the bench, and then we have narrow grip seated rows. So let's get to it. Almost forgot. Let's turn tracking off. Let's just focus down here. Whoopsies. Let's see how that does. We'll see how that looks. If it looks terrible, we'll do something different next week. Yeah, it doesn't feel bad. Feels good to start getting the blood flowing, getting the breath going. We're gonna work our way up to 285. Last week we did 3 sets of 5. So we'll see if we can get that. If you have watched a few of my workouts, the beginning of them, you know, but my warm-up scheme is just 50% at 10 or so reps, and then another 50% at 10 or so reps, 75% for less than that, maybe like 6 or 8 reps, and then the first working set will be the full weight, 285 a day, and then we shoot for 4 to 6 reps. For these kind of core compound lifts like bench, deadlift, and squat, I like to shoot for the like powerlifting rep range that is focused on building strength. Number one, because building strength is a good goal to have, and it will still help build muscle. It does contribute to hypertrophy, and it is a little bit more time efficient. And it's just really fun to lift heavy things like that. There's like, I mean, and it's not like a very dissimilar feeling doing like on the 8th rep compared to like the 4th rep. Like you still feel, oh yeah, get this weight, push this weight. But I don't know, when it's a little bit heavier, it hits a little different in my opinion. All right, 2. And I will try experimenting with split reverse grip. So I'll try to do that and make sure we're switching off and on. Alright, a little bit more weight. I've got these barbell clips that have magnets on them. Game changers. I'm not gonna say that I never lose track of them, but it does help cut down on the instances of lost bar clips. Yeah, I probably just got them off Amazon, something like that. Could probably get something similar at the local Show Me Weights store as well. One thing I will talk about a little bit today, not right now because I'm about to hit this weight again, but talk a little bit more about total daily energy expenditure, how your exercise and workouts fit into that, how does cardio fit into that. I've got this rowing machine behind me that you probably noticed. You might be asking, like, do you ever use that? Sometimes. But we'll talk about the type of cardio that I like to do if I'm going to do cardio. All right, so this one we will do 6. 'Gravy. All right. Now we'll put on 285. And I talked about it last week, I'll say it again. Deadlift is probably my weakest compound lift. And for most people, for a lot of people, it's like, it's the one that you can do the most weight on. And so that's obviously just like a gap in my training. It probably just has to do with, the type of training I've done throughout my life. I don't know if we deadlifted at all, like in my high school days, barely, a little bit. And that probably comes with a little bit of just unknown, some tentativeness around the lift itself. What do I need here? You can injure yourselves. I mean, you can injure yourself on anything, but I mean, as opposed to like bench press or squat where you're a little bit more stable, it feels like it's a little bit easier to have bad form on deadlift. Anyway, I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm just saying that's probably the reason why. Obviously, if I haven't done the lift as much, it makes sense that it will be underdeveloped compared to the other lifts. And you might notice in my physique, my back is nothing to write home about. I feel like, again, I mean, bench, I feel decent at, I feel comfortable with. And I think that shows in the physique. I think my chest is more developed than my back. That's something that I know I need to work on, something I need to fix. So even on the cut, I'm making sure to still do progressive overload on this and then all the other back exercises. Hopefully gaining strength along the way. Just because you're in a cut doesn't mean you can't get stronger. Muscle doesn't necessarily have to grow bigger and to get stronger. There are other things you can do to improve strength. But by improving your strength, you're thus able to progressive overload. You're able to build your volume. And, if you are, for me, when I do get back into maintenance calories, so that this next spring, I'm hoping to have kind of helped build a little bit more of the capacity for the back through deadlift and these other lifts. And then to come into the spring, hit maintenance calories for a little bit and be able to, maintenance or just slightly above maintenance, not trying to bulk, but want to give those muscles a chance to grow a little bit. Of course, after I do a deload, diet break and stuff like that, but that'll be vacation. All right, first set. I think I said last week I did 5s. Woo, 5s. All right. Well, yeah, let's see. Okay. All right, we got 6. You guys know the rule. If we hit 6, we go up in weight. So, ditch this sweater first. Be right back. Yeah, so 6 felt hard, but not impossible. If I really needed to, probably could have squeezed more out. So I think that's a good sign that going up in weight is the right call here. I think doing 3 reps at 3 sets at 6 reps would be difficult, but that's all part of it. We're growing. I think one thing that has helped with that, so I'm not using straps. I'm trying to work on grip strength, just my natural grip strength, and not because I'm not planning on doing a powerlifting competition anytime soon, but I did play around with that idea a year or so ago, and so it's kind of always in the back of my mind. And one of the things I know that's holding me back is my dependence on straps on the deadlift. So trying to work on that. But that reverse, I'll have to look up. I don't know if you call it split grip or reverse grip, whatever you call it. It seems to be helping quite a bit because my grip strength has definitely been a limiting factor in the amount of weight I can do. And it's actually encouraging because, it's encouraging that the weight's going up. But, when I first started doing deadlifts after recovering from this upper back injury I had and hamstring injury, groin injury, I was really only doing a little bit more than my squats. You start having 2 65 or something. And so to get up to, we're up to 295 today for reps. That's good. I think for, someone who's around 200 pounds, I would like to get into that, 4-plate club, the 405. I feel like I should have the capacity within me somewhere at some point to do 405. I don't think I'm a long way off, but that would be like the goal for me. All right, let's switch the hands so we don't become lopsided, and go for it. Cool. And I'm not gonna say that was like easy, but that felt good. It was a good stimulus. It felt kind of hard. I hear someone calling me upstairs. Kids are home from school for a snow day, so I think I'm gonna have to pop up there and help out real quick. I'm back. For you, it's like I never left. But yeah, there was some conflict, let's just say that, between the children. I don't know if you want to call that a pro or a con of working out at home. I guess it's a pro that I can go help out. Is it a con because it interrupted the workout? Sure, but in the grand scheme of things, not really. I'd rather be available. All right, if I remember, we just did set 2, and we did 4, and we're at 295. Let me first enter. I don't think I entered that. And then I'm going to, we'll do the last set here, shoot for 4. I mean, hey, if you can get 5, might as well. I had a little bit extra rest just now. All right. And 4 feels fine. 4 feels fine. That one actually felt harder than the first one. The first 4 increased weight. That may just be because of the extra rest. It bangs on the floor so loudly because it is really heavy. I made it so heavy so that I could work my muscles and get a nice stimulation. Yep, well, I didn't use all of those either, and I have some over there. Hey, I wouldn't stand close to that because it sometimes it rolls. Okay, I don't want it to roll over your toes. Is it hard to pick them up one by one? Sometimes. I mean, this blue one's kind of heavy. Yeah, especially after I've lifted all of them. Yep, I'm putting it on the pulley system because I'm going to, do a lift from there next. That's right. Yep, so next I'm going to do, this is called a lat pull down. And she's gone. Oh, she's back. How much weight am I doing? 130. What, Maddie? Yeah, well, I'm gonna put more than one on, but yes, it is. It is heavier in a way. I can't do the same amount of weight that I do when I do the deadlifts. All right. So it should be 130. And get the bench. And last week it looks like we did 11, 11, 11. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try to get 11 of these. All right, we got 12, which is great. 12, which means we can add some weight. So we'll swap out the 5s for 10s. What we call it, 135. I don't know how much I actually do on lat pull downs, like at a gym pulley system. My pulley system is, it might not fit exactly. I might have bent one of the bars. I think that maybe it's not oiled enough. Anyway, I just feels like there's a little bit more resistance than what when I go to a gym and use theirs. Which is fine, but since I'm here from week to week, all that matters is that I can track my progress with here. If I go to another gym, I just have to, it takes me a couple times to find the right weight. But last week we did 3 sets of 11 at 130. This week we got 12 on the first set, so I'm gonna bump up to 135 and shoot for 8 to start with and see how we do. One reason why I like doing these like lat pull downs and this pulley work on a cut. Of course I love doing pull-ups and other bodyweight stuff, but I'm losing 2 pounds a week, so progressive overload gets a little harder to track because my body weight is going down, and so it's hard to like track. Okay, well, if I do 2 more reps, does that compensate, or do I add weight? Like I think tomorrow I have dips, and I've already had to add a bunch of weight. So I mean, it's still doable. It's just using the machine like this is easier to track the progressive overload. It's not a reason to not do pull-ups. If you don't have like a pulley machine, I would still recommend doing pull-ups and other bodyweight stuff. But if you do have access to some kind of machine, it makes tracking easier. That 8 felt good. One more set of those. I was talking earlier about cardio. So yes, I will use the rower occasionally, especially on days like today when it's a snow day. I'm not really too concerned about it at this point. With just my regular like desk job, doing chores around the house, and this workout plan, my nutrition plan of cutting 1,000 calories has yielded 2 pounds of weight loss per week. So I don't see a need to inject any cardio or extra type of calorie burning at this point. When it was a little bit nicer out, I was trying to go for a walk, just like a 20-minute walk every day, on most days. And it's not like that's adding a bunch of burnt calories or anything like that. It adds a little bit. It's more just for like mental health and clarity in the middle of the day. But walking is my preferred cardio. If I am trying to boost my caloric output, I will try to get 10,000 steps a day, and that will add basically to my NEAT. And NEAT is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which contributes to your total daily energy expenditure. And that's just the stuff that you do, like you're gesticulating when you're making gestures, when you're tapping your foot, when you swing your desk chair, when you walk from place to place, right? It's not dedicated physical activity. So I consider just the walking that I do, even if I'm adding walking as an exercise, I consider it part of the NEAT. And if I am going to do like later in the cut, we may get to a point where my metabolism is catching up and it's harder to lose my target weight for the week, for each week. Excuse me. And so at that time, what I might do, you'll have the choice to either adjust your calories more. It's hard to do at the aggressive rate that I'm at, or add some cardio. And for me, I like sprints over like jogging or like that medium state. So I prefer, even more so than HIIT, like high intensity training, I think they call it sit, like sprint intervals. So I like to do like sprint for less than 100 yards. Like we're talking like 50, 60, maybe 70 yards. And that's going to be sprinting almost dead, all out, or anywhere from like 5 to 10 seconds. And then resting 2 minutes in between, and doing that for like 3 to 6 sets. That is my preferred workout. I was a sprinter and track, a sprinter and a jumper. And so it just, I like it. It feels good. It's the same thing as like lifting heavy weights. It's just like there's an exhilaration of doing it. I've never really enjoyed long distance running. There are people that do, and I say like, if that's something that that you enjoy, like you absolutely do it. But yeah, when it comes to sprint or like high intensity cardio versus that medium state, I like that. I prefer to do a low intensity steady state and the sprint intensity for my cardio. Eight, great. And just doing sprint workouts doesn't mean you have to be physically like doing sprinting like on your legs. You can do a sprint workout on a rowing machine. You can do a sprint workout with body weight like burpees and stuff like that. It might be closer to high intensity training at that point, but we're being pedantic with that. One arm dumbbell rows is up next. And by the way, the reason I like to keep the sprints like under 100 yards is because that, like, once you get over 50 yards, I think that's when I tend to notice the risk for injury, for pulling a hamstring. It seems to be where it starts to go up. So you can still get a good workout and a good stimulus by sprinting for a shorter period of time while staying relatively safe and healthy. All right, 25 seconds. But yeah, I mentioned how your exercise fits in, or how it doesn't fit in, to your total daily energy expenditure. We mentioned that walking, adding to your NEAT, to your non-exercise activity, Thermogenesis. You also have your EAT, your exercise activity, Thermogenesis. So these workouts, certainly a cardio, sprint, or even like a jog, a long distance jogging, those are going to contribute. But if you look at like a pie chart, the bulk of your energy expenditure is coming from your basal metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate. They're very similar. And that's going to be like, I don't know, something like 75% or more of your energy expenditure. So, and that's just based off of you, what it takes to be you, to exist, to have brain activity, to breathe, have all your non-voluntary, like heart breathing and heart pumping and stuff like that. And that's largely based off of your sex and like your height and weight, and more specifically your body composition. So the muscle tends to burn more calories than fat. So the higher percentage muscle you have, lower body fat percentage, typically you'll see a higher metabolic rate for someone else at that same weight with a higher body fat percentage. When I went to Lindenwood to get my body fat analyzed and my metabolic rate measured, they measured me at about 1900 calories for my resting metabolic rate, which kind of matches up to a lot of the estimating algorithms and calculators that I've done. I'll talk about that more here in a sec. Alright, 10. That's what we got last week, so we'll try and bump that up next set. But yeah, talking about calories in, calories out, total daily energy expenditure. If you've ever started looking at losing weight in a scientific way with calories, you've probably heard, well, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And you might ask, well, how do I know if I'm in a calorie deficit? You have to first know how many calories you burn just living your life. And there are really great calculators online. There are a few different algorithms that scientists have come up with to be able to kind of pretty closely measure your total daily energy expenditure based off of just a few inputs. So one of the algorithms is the Mifflin-St. And it just takes your age, your height, and your weight, and your sex. And it estimates how many calories, it estimates your basal metabolic rate. And then to get your total daily energy expenditure, you apply a multiplying factor, and that depends on how active you are. So it's anywhere from, I don't do anything except exist, which would be 1, so that would just be your basal metabolic rate. But like realistically, it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2. So for me, for example, my multiplying factor is somewhere around 1.5. So I lift, I do resistance training for about 4 days, sometimes 5 days a week. And I try to do a little bit of walking or yard work on top of that, right? And so that's just like what I have found, like 1.5, somewhere between 1.45 and 1.55. There have been times in my life where I've had an extra workout in the morning, either CrossFit or F3. And at those points, my multiplying factor goes up to more like 1.6 or 1.65. One sec, someone's talking to me. Do I like that? Of course, that's amazing. You built that just now? That's great. All right, I'm gonna lift some more weights, and I'm gonna talk to the camera a little bit more, okay? You're watching? Okay. No, because I'm using the bench right now. $11. All right, hold on. Yep, lifted it 11 times. All right, so I want to go back to talking about TDEE. We're talking about the multiplying factors, the St. Miflengior algorithm. That's one algorithm. It's a great place to start, especially if you're untrained and you're not a very lean person to begin with. Pretty accurate. It's going to give you a great place to start. Let's say, these are rough numbers, but I believe if you're about 5'10", like me, and you weigh about 200 pounds, and you're in your mid-30s, and you're male, your estimate is going to be something like somewhere between 26 and 2,800 calories. If you also have if you exercise 4 to 6 times a week. I just remember that off the top of my head. It's going to be somewhere around there. Probably like 2750 or something. I don't know. Now for me, I had noticed that was maybe not super accurate, pretty close, but I know that I'm a little bit leaner and I have a little bit more muscle mass than the average person. So I like the Catch-McCardle algorithm, which takes into consideration your body fat percentage. So again, you put in the same data, but you also say, by the way, I'm 20% body fat. And then it kind of recalculates it. Same person will get about 2,900 calories for their TDEE. And that lines up with what I found when I got tested. I actually did the resting metabolic rate test, where they put like this big dome over the top of you that measures your breathing, measures everything that you're intaking and outtaking, and that's how it measures how many calories you burn. And that estimated, like I said, the resting metabolic rate of about 1,990, and which matches pretty close with the Catch-McCardle estimation. And another caveat is that resting metabolic rate is not exactly the same as basal metabolic rate, RMR versus BMR, but they're very close. I think technically resting metabolic rate, I can't remember. I think it's a little bit higher than what basal metabolic rate is, but a lot of the algorithm in these calculators conflate the two and use them, and the margin of error, from what I understand, I'm not a nutrition scientist, from what I understand, the margin of error is nothing to mess up your estimations. It's definitely not a reason not to use them, and you probably will estimate how many calories you're eating just when you're entering your food more than you will than the margin of error of these calculators. So you're more likely to have a higher margin of error on your food estimation than you are on your TDEE estimation from a calculator. Let's just put it that way. Both of those neither of those are a reason not to figure out your TDEE and not to track your calories, because it does work. People do it. We're doing it. Ooh. 11 again. We've got seated cable rows up next. And just to finish off the talk about margins of error, it's one of the reasons I set my target calories a little bit lower than what they technically should be, right? So if my TDEE, only 2 E's, not 3. If that's 2,900 to lose 2 pounds a week, technically I only need to hit 1,900 calories per week. So why do I shoot for 1,800? Well, because of the margins of error. Because number one, the FDA allows a 20% error or margin of error within the reported calories on packaged food anyway. So you're already, getting even if you track it exactly off of what the label says, it's still going to be a little bit off. And then anything that you eyeball, humans are terrible estimators for volume and weight. So that's going to be off. And then there's also just the self-discipline part of it too, knowing that I'm human, I am not a machine, I'm not going to be able to hit exactly 1,900 calories every day. Some days I'm going to feel hungrier, or I'm going to feel a stressor that is going to cause me to want to cope with a piece of chocolate. Not saying that's how you should cope, that's just my struggle. So I build in a buffer. I say, well, I'm going to shoot for 1,800 calories on average for the week, knowing that if I go a little bit above, that's great, because technically 1,900 is okay. And then throughout the week, that's why I shoot for 1,600 calories as my target for each day, because I know any day that I can hit that is another day that I can go a little bit above that. So this week, for example, I was talking about how December is great. Oh, it's going to be boring. We'll be able to hit our routine. Should be no problem. 1,600 calories or get my 1,800 calories for the average for the week, no problem. There's no holidays, no large calorie days. Well, we have a family tradition of going to go see Christmas lights one Friday in December. And so that happens to be this Friday. And we go out to eat when we do that. And we go to a Mexican restaurant. And I know when I go to a Mexican restaurant, my calories are going to be higher. So I know I'm going to have at least one higher calorie day this week. It'll probably be in the mid 2000s, 2,500 or so. But that's okay, as long as I can have a few 1,600 calorie days. All right, let me put some of this weight back. I am not done yet. I have one more exercise to do. and then I'll be done talking. Yep. You're bored listening to me? How can you be bored? I'm talking about such interesting things. Are they not interesting to kids? No? What do they teach you in school? What do they teach you in school now? Oh. They don't teach you about metabolic rates and calories and workouts? Well, that's the problem with America. That's the problem right there. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm trying to do 130. I did 11 last week. Sure, I'm just gonna keep the weight the same. Technically, I should do 130 and try and get 12 and then move the weight up. I'm just gonna assume that I could hit that, and we'll go for 135. I don't know. Eight. Yeah, that was fine. 8 is no problem. 5, 8. Can the camera see me okay? Yeah, I can see me okay. I should move it over here though. Let me pause the video real quick. All right, we're back. Oh, we've got 2 more sets to do. 8? Oh, really? Like it was had a lot of rips in reserve. Let's just say that. So definitely gonna shoot for like 9 or 10 on this one. One more to go. Thanks for joining me today. One of these days, I'm going to work on my putting a little bit more and talk a little bit less. Oh, real quick. Talk about calories from yesterday. I was on track for like 1,600 calories, and I ended up closer to 17, or rather closer to 1,800. I was just feeling like hungry, like I needed something after dinner, so I had this chocolate almond cereal, which is a protein cereal with some almond milk, so that, and then also this little chocolate chip cookie protein bar. So that bumped me up, but it also added to my protein. So you can see I did get close to the 180 grams of protein, and it's a lot easier to get 180 grams of protein at 1,800 calories than it is at 1,600 calories. The morning was pretty typical with my coffee and a protein Pop-Tart, higher protein lunch with some liquid eggs and a protein beefy queso burrito from Counter, some salsa. Dinner, not too bad. Really, there's nothing here that I look at and I'm like, I really indulged. I had a decent amount of protein at every meal, but it just ended up being closer to like 10 grams of protein per 100 calories than 15 or 20. which would be fine. So like if I had been at 1600 calories, it'd only be 160 grams of protein, which would be fine too. Being Monday, I felt like I could indulge a little bit and get closer to 1800 calories. And that was also before we finalized plans for Friday. So Friday, I just said, is going to be a higher calorie day. So I'm going to need to make sure that probably today, tomorrow, Thursday, I try and stick closer to that 1600 calories so that I can hit the 1800 calorie goal like last week. So you can see these low calorie days allowed me to have these high calorie days and still average 1850. So we'll have to try and do something similar this week. Weight, we weighed in at 195.2 this morning. Monday was 196.3. So the goal is going to be, the average last week was 196.2. So the goal this week is going to be try to be in the 194s. We've got some way to go. I think we're finally shedding the water weight from last week from the higher calorie days. You can see this bump right here. We're finally coming down. We did have a day last week in the 194, so I think it should be doable as long as we stick to our calories the next few days. And that's it for the nutrition and weight update. Let's hit this last set. We did 10. 10 felt good. Can we beat 11? Could. We'll see. All right. 11. And we should be able to hit 12 on that next week. But that's going to be all for today. I'll see you next time.